Well, good afternoon. I see I've got one viewer up there. Been live for a whopping 3 minutes. Woo! The hell was that? Oh, okay. Well, I couldn't figure out what the heck that was. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to see whoever the one person is viewing. Usually I have 0. Now let's see what kind of shit we can stir up today. From over at the Lie Center Central. Hey, there's John Doe. I got some video clips I'm going to play. I hope that you guys will find them amusing. Well, at least as amusing as I did anyway. Because they're so freaking full of freaking bullshit. I think you'll find them amusing. So we'll get started with the first one. And this is about Simone Biles, who he has had evidently some kind of weird freaking oddball crush on for quite a few years, actually. I got to give him that. And of course, this bullshit story that you're about to hear, where well, you'll get it. He actually claims to have her fucking phone number, which is a bunch of shit. So this video runs for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to let that play, and I'll catch you on the other side.
Fake news is brainwashing you to believe that Simone Biles taking a jab at Trump. She's not doing that at all. Not at all. I guarantee it. I promise you that. I ain't got to prove nothing to you, George. I was the first and only moderator of her group, you stupid ass. I was hired by her mom. No, hired. I did it for free. But I was the first and only moderator that they ever had in that group. I'm the guy that did, to this day, 80% of all of her fan art. I do know Simone Biles, at least as far as her phone number is concerned, and talking with her in person, like online, not in person. We are going to meet in person, though, by the way. You'd be surprised. But the reality is that she did not mean that as a jab at Trump. And the reason she has not responded on it is because Simone Biles has an advisor group that tells her what to do. My conversation today contradicted a lot of what they were telling her. And she liked what I had to say over what they were telling her. Because what I told her made more sense. No, George, I'm making a claim, and I can substantiate it, but I'm not going to show you private text and chats. So if you want to look at it that way, that's fine. I got no problem with that. How about you go to her Simone Biles Facebook group and talk to her and ask her if she talks to me or did talk to me last night. We actually talked for more than 2 hours last night because it upset her so much that I turned against her. At least I think that's what it was. And because we had a really good conversation. There's more conversations that have been planned too. So but I have talked to her. She was a fan of mine watching me on YouTube. Actually, it was her mom that was brought into the group. They taught me into being a moderator in her group. It was her mom who asked me if I was racist or not. You might not have been around when all that went down. No, that's not BS. There's a lot of people that watch my channel that can substantiate that.
Yeah, there's people that can substantiate that. You know what? You know what, Bob? I'd say since Simona's in Paris and probably incredibly busy with the Olympics and all that stuff, that she's not going to have time to talk to an old drunk in border town, Texas. Oh yeah, I can back that up too. I don't know about the Simone camp telling him to back off, but he had such a what do you call it? He had such a thing for her a few years back. That really wouldn't surprise me because he was fricking doing all that fan art using that Microsoft Paint, and it all ended up looking like complete shit anyway. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if he didn't get told to back the fuck off, and then he comes up with this wild ass story. You know, that Bob doesn't even know the time difference between where he's at and frickin' Paris. It's quite a few hours. Well, and he claims that and the funny thing is, he said, well, she was watching my streams back in the day. Really? So she was watching you back in the day when you were getting drunk and falling over cans? Did she happen to catch that video? Has she heard any of your racist rants when you go off on people? She heard any of that stuff? Yeah, not a freaking chance in hell. Because as soon as you say, here's what I find really amusing. Like when you made those phone calls up to Ohio. I'm Trumpster Bob. I'm doing a live stream right now. So they go over to YouTube and look up Trumpster Bob, and what do they see? The rants of some what looks like a 70, 80-year-old man, drunk as a skunk, making a complete ass out of himself. And that's exactly what they get now, about 90% of the time. About 90% of the time. Now, hell, even recently you did that freaking rattling of the bottles going, hey, I still got beer left. I got plenty of beer. Clank, 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 clank. No, yeah, they're not going to let him around the Simone Biles fan club. Can you imagine that? They go look up and look at that stuff. So, well, moving on. Let's move on to the next laugh fest, shall we? You guys are going to like this one, I think. Somebody in his chat said that they were a lesbian. So Bob responded with this.
When I was 26 years old, I was having sex with 5 black women, but only 5. One of them was straight. Good straight Christian girl. Loved her, still love her. The other 4 were 2 separate sets of lesbian black women who lived together. Yeah. And they all 5 would take turns with me. During the busy season when I worked, if I was just tired and laid back on bed and I heard a knock at the door, yeah, I'm here. Well, I had a key to my apartment, so whether I just left the door open, I usually just left the door open. No reason to lock my door, actually. I mean, what are they going to steal? I didn't have a lock in my apartment for anything too much. And, yeah, most of the time I did lock the door, but they had a key anyway. I'd hear that key going in and turning, and they'd walk in. And they'd have sex with me, and then they would leave. Just wanted me for my body. And this went on for several years. Only them 5 women. And yeah, it was great. I wish I'd have never gotten married, to be honest with you. I absolutely love lesbian women. Ran into a lesbian woman that I lived with for a long time. Well, not a long time, a short while, but she loves God. She absolutely loves God. And we had a few religious conversations here and there, nothing too in depth, but we saw eye to eye on everything. So it was like, okay, we're good, you know? And and it was just me and her living in that apartment for that year. So, no, I'm not going to hate you because you're a lesbian. I don't hate gay men because they're gay.
Oh, without a doubt, he wishes that would happen. Without a doubt. And everybody knows Bob couldn't get laid at the Nevada Mustang Ranch with 2 fistfuls of $100 bills. And you're right. I think he's that way. And just skipping. I just skip through his streams. I don't listen to all that shit. Bob thinks I sit up all night long and wait for him to go live, which is a crock of crap, frankly. And that's the last damn thing I'm doing is waiting for him to go live. So when I get up in the morning, sometimes he's done a live, sometimes he hasn't. Big deal. I get up and I do my usual thing in the morning. Make a cup of coffee in my apartment, by the way, that I've lived in since, what was it, mid-November last year. Because this is going to come up here in just a minute. Because he thinks that he knows me so well and has got all this information about me. You're going to get a kick out of what you're going to hear on this next one, these next clips that I've got, because it's fucking hilarious. It's freaking hilarious. Oh, hey, but I forgot to do this. Come on up, Bob. I just posted the link in there. Come on up. I'll let you come on. But don't come up without any proof of what you've been claiming. Now, I'm not talking about running your mouth for a fucking hour and making up shit as you go along. You can show on your freaking laptop screen. Because you never do that. You never, even though you claim, oh yeah, I'm going to do this video on Harry and I'm going to show it on my screen and you're going to see all this proof that I got. You're going to see all this proof that I got that he's a serial killer and he's done this and he's done that and he's done this and he's done that. But yet you still go on. Now, he's not going to come up. See, he's got me blocked on all of his platforms. Anything that he puts out there, he's got me blocked on. He's got me blocked on YouTube. He's got me, well, he can't block me on Rumble, but then he doesn't frickin' do much. He's done one video on Rumble. He's got me blocked on Twitter. He's got me blocked on Facebook. He's got me blocked on email. He's got me blocked on phone calls. Because he knows that he's full of shit. He knows I can prove him wrong every time I get a chance. And that's what I'm bringing up here in this next little clip. Because he loves to project so much. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing in this video. And I'll mention why. I'll mention why. I'll stop it a little ways into this and explain on the first part of the clip that's here.
Harry Brogan keeps moving from place to place to place. Do you realize in the past 4 months, Harry Brogan has moved 3 fucking times? Ain't that right, Harry Brogan? You just keep running and running and running, pretending that I'm so dumb I don't know where you're at right now. But I could absolutely tell you your fucking address right now, bitch. I know exactly where you're at. In Lincoln, Nebraska.
But the thing about that, here's what's amusing about that. I'm not the one that has moved 3 or 4 times or whatever it's been in the past few months. Bob has. He moved out of the mansion last year and into that place that had the pool. I think people can remember that. Now remember that because he was broadcasting from that swimming pool, and I've got videos of that. And then evidently he got kicked out of that place because within, I guess it was about a month or so after that, he was in another place. And that other place had this big lamppost thingy, like right next to the bed that he kept broadcasting from. And I'm not sure. I can't remember if that was the place with the backboard or not, with the back big wooden headboard. It might have been. So that's place number 1 after the mansion. Then he moved from that place, or the swimming pool was place number 1 after the mansion. And then it was the place with the big headboard and the lamp, I believe. And then there was this place, which he's gone from bad to worse to worse to worse. Because this place, when if you ever listen to those videos, you're going to hear traffic going by, you're going to hear sirens going by, you're going to hear loud cars going by from time to time, and you're going to hear trains blasting their horn from time to time. Now, he claims to be able to stick his head out the window and he can see the Texas-Mexico border. And then on a video not long ago, he said he's 8 miles from the Texas border. 8 miles, which would be about right by where those train tracks are at. But common sense says that he's living in some freaking cheap ass no-tell motel. Because after all, there was a clip that I got where he's got the freaking little roach thingy running across his pillow again. Remember that one? Yeah, kind of like Corey. So let's get on with what else he said, because this is just good shit.
When you think about Harry Brogan, and he made that bucket on that one dude's bucket live stream, he was saying, "Well, here's a Mexican restaurant. I think I'm going to go in here and eat." And he was pretending he was in Virginia Beach. But you know what his fuck up is? The same name of restaurants are actually differently named. You see, they don't have a restaurant in Virginia Beach. It starts out with La as part of their fucking restaurant name. And that same restaurant in Lincoln, Nebraska, with the similar name, the only difference in the name is that one starts out with La. I forgot the name of the restaurant off my head, but it's La Patos or some bullshit like that. But it starts out with La. I remember that. Look how stupid Harry Brogan is trying to act funny and shit. You don't know where I'm at. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker.
So yeah, I think Gene did boot him out of the mansion for a couple of reasons. I think that the mansion was actually under one of those federal loan type things where it can be used for one thing, but it can't be used as another. And in this case, I think, this is just what I think, that it had stated that it wasn't supposed to be used as a rooming house, and that's what it was being used for. So I think Gene had no choice but to boot people out. Because Bob has been back up to the mansion once or twice, but I think he's too far away now. He can't just stagger up there like he used to. Bob don't have a vehicle anymore. He doesn't have his truck. He doesn't have his, remember when he had the bicycle a while back? He doesn't have his bicycle anymore. And the last time he went up to the mansion, he walked up there because he said it was only a few blocks away. And that was when he was in the place with the swimming pool. And when he said it was like 5 or 6 blocks away, it took about 10 seconds to figure out what house it was. After he said that, that was an easy find. This one's a little tougher because I don't know the area that he's in, so I don't know where the shitty parts of town are. But I have found the railroad tracks because there's only one active railroad line that runs along the main street down there. So it shouldn't be that tough to figure out what no-tell motel he's staying at. He won't show his room. He won't show his room. He's too much of a chicken shit to show his room because it's a piece of shit. It's a crappy ass place, and he's afraid to show it. And I've asked him to show it. I've shown mine multiple times. And he won't show it. And we got let's see what else I got that's a recent video that he's done. Oh yeah, he's done the freaking Patriot bullshit. Got some of that stuff and he's back to, oh, Trump this, Trump that. When supposedly, according the gospel, according to Bob, he said that a while back that he'd stopped in a store or something in his pickup truck, and some guy came rushing through the parking lot and slammed into his truck. Okay. And I'm going to sue the guy and I'm going to get a new truck, and it's not going to take that long because his insurance company has agreed with me and said that they're going to pay. Nothing ever happened. Every time he says, I promise you that. I promise you that. Every time he says, I promise you that, not shit's going to happen. Nothing's going to come of it. Let's see. Last year it was, before the year's out, Harry Brogan's going to be in prison. And the year before that, it was, before the year's out, Harry Brogan's going to be in prison. I promise you that. Remember that, Bob? Yeah, but he's out there doing something. You can bet your ass on that. He's just staying under the radar because he knows he's got people keeping an eye out for him when he pops. Because he always fucks up. Always, always, always. He had a good thing going. I kid you not, man. He had a good thing going with a band that is still popular. And he was their what do they call it? The guy that merchandiser. He was doing their merchandising for him, selling the shirts and all that stuff, taking care of all that stuff. But he just couldn't get away. It's great when you camped out in somebody's head. It's great when you camped out in somebody's head. He couldn't resist saying something to one of the band members about his stalkers. And here's the story that he told. Well, according to the word that this band member told us was, he told him, get this, a bunch of his stalkers kidnapped him, put him in the back of a van. Now, keep in mind, he lives in frickin' Nashville, all right? Kidnapped him, took him all the way to the border in Texas, and held him over the river by his ankles over a bunch of crocodiles. Well, the big problem with that is there's no crocodiles in the Rio Grande. No alligators. That's a Florida thing. Florida, South Georgia thing. That's possible there, but not in fucking Texas, the Rio Grande. Let alone go look at how far it is. How far would you have to drive if you kidnap somebody from Nashville to just pick a border town in Texas? That's a long frickin' haul. That's a long ass damn haul. So yeah, that's it. That's another. But the funny part about that whole thing with this band member is, it was this band member's daughter who said, "Dad, have you even looked up and done a background check on this Mark guy? Have you done anything like that? Just do a Google search." And he thought about it. He thought, eh. So he did a Google search, and what he found out just went on and on and on. And when he finally contacted us, I warned him, and other people warned him and said, "Hey, you're climbing into a hell of a rabbit hole." Oh yeah, and I haven't seen him on YouTube. The other thing he's done is, I don't know if you saw him or not, but he used to have a YouTube channel up where he had posted autobiography videos, which were so fake and made up, nonsensical bullshit. I've got all the copies of those, by the way. All those videos are gone off of that channel. Oh, yeah, the floodgates opened when that happened. You bet they did. Because I'm not sure who you are, John Doe. I think I know who you are, but I'm not sure, so I'm not even going to say. No, he's not on any of those. But he's MC was running scams when I really started digging deep, he was running his scams back as far as 1999. And that was the first time that's the first one website that I could find where he was actually posting and trying to scam people. Yeah, you can check. Please do. Please do. Check under MC and check under, what the hell are some of his other, Mark Newland, Ace Striker is another one of his alias names. He was running that one for a while because he was trying to do rock and roll, which is but yeah, check and see. Honestly, I think he finally wised up and realized that he couldn't get away with his shit anymore. Because when I ran into him, it was, oh, good Lord, what was that? 2016? Could have been 2015. I'm thinking it was 2016 when that whole crap with Chris Cox and Bikers for Trump was going on. And Mark had a falling out. Well, we thought it was a falling out with that group. He had a falling out, and he wanted to start his own little motorcycle group called Bikers for the Republic. Okay, so myself and another guy had been watching Mark a little bit and thought we would help him out. So the other gentleman started in on building up some Facebook pages for different chapters in different states. And I started in, and I got Mark. There was a motorcycle shop out in Virginia that always did this thing towards the end of the summertime. Well, throughout the summer they did stuff every weekend, but towards the end of the summertime they always did this big bash right around Labor Day as kind of a final big blast of the year. And I got a hold of the promoter there that was doing the stuff to see if they were lining up. Yeah, if you find anything, let me know. So they said that they would love to have somebody come in and play. So I said, all right, well, let me get a hold of this guy. So I got a hold of Mark again. And he said, well, they'd have to help pay to get his portable stage up there. And I said, well, wait a minute. You just said that you're already going to be on tour. Well, yeah, you got him hot around about that. Because this was around the time that he was doing, what the hell was it called? His concert tour across the United States that he promoted that thing or tried to anyway for 2 solid years, 2.5 years. And that went on and on and on and on and on that he did that. And it never came to pass. So I'm like, well, yeah, but you said if we knew of any, you told me and this other guy that if we knew of any motorcycle happenings that were coming on, that they could come and play at, just to let him know. And he would try to see to it that they could move their schedule a little bit so that they could go and excuse me, and play at the show. Because he did tell us that they would already be, we're already going to be out on the road, so that shouldn't be a big problem. But now he wanted to get paid to bring his portable stage up there, which turned out to be a trailer that had been sitting in the back of the yard of his down there in Tennessee for quite a while. It looked like when we finally saw what the frick it looked like. Chances are it wouldn't have passed a DOT inspection anyway. The Reunite America Tour. That was the name of it. Couldn't remember the damn name of that. But yeah, his scams date back for years. But see, and here's the thing that Bob seems to forget. You can make up all the shit you want about me. Go ahead. Doesn't faze me a bit. Just like that crap of, well, you did this live video on another guy's stream. Where's your proof, Bob? When I say that you've been on somebody's stream talking shit, I show the stream. And I can provide a link to the stream. In most cases. But usually if you're on somebody else's stream and I come on and I say you're on somebody else's stream, I can provide proof. Where's your proof? I mean, you said I was on this guy's stream going into a Mexican restaurant called La something. Well, the only Mexican restaurant I went close to where I was going to go in and grab a bite to eat, by the way, was when I was coming back. And I did say I was going into a place called De Leon's. That's what it's called, De Leon's. It's not La something, you fucking idiot. Try to get at least part of the lie correct. Just part of it. But you can't even do that. And I never claimed I was in Virginia Beach. I haven't been in Virginia Beach since last September. Rhonda passed away September 26th. I came here and I stayed with a friend of mine in his house until I got into this apartment in mid-November last year. I haven't moved any place. You think you know where I'm at? You think you know where I'm at? Where am I at? You think I'm at that one address that you keep putting out there, which is not doing anybody any good because you're talking out your ass. But let's see. Let me do this. I'll do this again. Let's see your place, Bob. Here's mine. Oh, I can't get the camera up any. Here's my kitchen. The trike's over there, by the way. I think you can see one of the wheels anyway. There's my little table. I got a mess on there now. Big TV. Yeah, that's my bed. My bed's a mess. There's my little couch. I got an efficiency apartment. But I don't have to walk down the hall. I don't have to walk down the hall to use a kitchen. Who did a live stream on Rumble 8 months ago? But you won't show your place, will you? And that ain't gonna happen, is it? Huh. Well, let's see. But I'd like to see old Old Bob grow a pair. Because you think about it, all you see right now is him from here up. CMNA. I'm going over. I'm running over and taking a look at that real quick. I don't know what CMNA means. See what the about says. There's nothing on the about, so go back over here to the videos and see if oh, hey, this is a looks like they got some exposing kind of videos on here. Because I see one that says Edward Leonard something is a confirmed child suspect with an active case. So you said what, about 8 months ago, I think you said. Well, I know I'm on Rumble right now. That's what that's where I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm looking at this CMNA amendment recording Rumble channel. All right, I got to go back further than that because I'm not going to go. There's a lot of videos on this page. That's a month ago. That's 2 months ago. Wow, man, whoever this is, they post a lot of videos. Aha! That's interesting. I'm going to have to go through this one. I found one from 4 months ago. Well, now I will go through this. Thanks for putting me onto it. And see what they've got. You know, it's too bad that there's not a way like on YouTube you can search the channel for videos. This one doesn't seem to be that way, and I can't put all the videos on one page and just scroll straight through them. But yeah, that's pretty good, pretty interesting page. I will check it out and see what's there. Yeah, I'm on. I'm looking at one video on Rumble, and I'm going to go through that page and see what else there is, because that could get interesting. I know that that Eric Wilkerson talks about him every once in a while. Eric is the guy that helped him do that fake suicide crap a few years ago. That Jennifer was in on that. He was in on that. So yeah, he posted this crap about and started with Jennifer. Mark is gone, is what she posted on Facebook. And then it turned into this. Well, he committed suicide because of all the harassment he was getting from his stalkers. See, and that's the kind of shit that these fucks like to pull. You know, it's the consistent lies that go on and on and on. And now we got freaking moron down there in border town, Texas, doing the same. Oh yeah, it was all bullshit. Doing the same thing, doing the exact same thing. All lies, all bullshit. Just like Bob's military experience. It's non-existent. You didn't have any military experience. The only experience you had was, yeah, you did get through boot camp. And then you were stuck at Fort Bragg as a consistent fuck up waiting for discharge. 2 years. 2 years. How many times did you go to court there in that 2-year time span? You turned a misdemeanor into a fucking year sentence. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. He's got at least 2 that I can verify. Hey, Bruce, Bob's got at least 2 court dates while he was at Fort Bragg that I can verify. Other than that, I can't verify anything. And I don't like to talk about shit that, and people will back me up on this. I don't like to talk about shit that I haven't verified or cannot verify. I'm not going to sit up here and make up a bunch of crap. And if I'm making up or alluding to something, I'll tell you that I'm doing that. I'm not just going to sit here like when he says, "Oh, Harry's moved 3 times in the past 4 months." No, I haven't. I've got no reason to fucking lie in the world. Bob does, because that's what he's been doing for the past few years. So he has to continue down that road because he's following that bullshit that politicians love to do. Generally the Democrats, and I don't like talking politics, so I'm not even going to go there. But he's following this thing where if you tell a lie long enough, somebody's going to believe it. But not in your case. 400 murders, really? But you backed off of that. Now it's down to like, what, 100? And you got called out on that on one of your recent streams by one of your own buddies that comes on there. So there's no way Harry could have done all those murders and gotten away with it. Just ain't fucking happening. You know, I'm a smart man, but I'm not that smart to outfox the cops in multiple states over multiple jurisdictions, because I'm not going to know. How the hell is anybody going to know from one state to another how they investigate shit? It doesn't work that way. Let alone the fact that you claim to keep calling these people and they're giving you information. That doesn't work either. Once an investigation is underway, you can call and give them information, but they're not going to feed you jack shit. And why? You can believe me, you can bet that they've been watching your fucking streams and know that old Bobby Lee can't keep his fucking mouth shut. So if they tell you anything, oh, you're on live stream. Oh, yeah, they told me this about Harry. Doesn't work that way. Does not work that way. Bruce, I posted a couple more videos over on the Asgazer YouTube page. You can check those out. I played a couple of them in here earlier at the beginning of the stream. So you can check those out. They're pretty cool. Good for a few laps anyway. Because you can tell that they're bullshit. Yeah, I've moved 3 times now. I'm quite content. This apartment here is quite nice. It's quiet. I'm on the 3rd floor of a building. I'm all the way at one end. So I don't have anybody coming down the hallway. And next to me, right, well, behind me here is the fire escape. So I don't even have anybody next to me on that side. I do on the other side. But that lady is so quiet. Never hear a peep out of her. Never hear a peep out of her. And I don't live with anybody, which is a plus. I like the quiet. Which video are you talking about? And it is, man. I mean, this is real. The one on Rumble, the video on Rumble, or is it someplace else? Oh yeah, it's quiet. Like this morning, I got up. It was like 60 degrees. Okay, I'll get it. It was like 60 degrees this morning. I went up to the store, piddle farted around. Came back here and just had a nice, relaxing, cool day. I've had the windows, well, the one behind me is closed right now, but I've had the windows open for most of the day because it's been a fucking nice day. Hang on, those videos that he's talking about. Okay, Bruce, I'm going to post a link for you, Bruce. Those videos that he's talking about are over here. So yeah, I mean it's you know, you got Bob, you know, and here's the other thing that I noticed a while back. There was a story that ran on a Cincinnati news station that, as you all know, or maybe you didn't know, Bob had said that he was a truck driver. Now, let me see if I can find the. Yeah, I don't think it's that far back. Let's see if I got it in my history still. Trying to see if I've got this video. Ah, there it is. Found it. Well, it was quite a ways back, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to share this. Yes, he still has the warrants, the felony warrants in Ohio. Yes, he does. Okay, so we all know that at one time, Bob was a truck driver. So this is a story that came out of Cincinnati not very long ago, back on July 30th, about a little over a week and a half back. But check this out. When you want, and make sure you keep an eye on the map. And the
how to make sticker with Sticker App is easy. First, make design, then go to stickerapp.com.
Right now, we have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt.
According to the FBI, those serial killers could be connected to dozens and dozens of unsolved murders.
Investigators are actively working to track them down by focusing in on a specific pool of suspects.
Jessica Schmidt explains what they're doing now to prevent another person from becoming a victim in this story from the Crime Vault.
Oh, yeah. In 2004, after noticing a pattern of murdered women being dumped along interstates, the FBI launched its Highway Serial Killings Initiative. The map you see behind me shows where bodies and remains have been found along highways in 500 cases over the course of 30 years. 20 years later, the FBI's work has led to several arrests and to hundreds of suspects. And today, investigators do believe most of those suspects are long-haul truckers. But they want to make it clear they're focusing in on a very small portion of them, as most truck drivers are innocent, hard workers, like a local man we talked to, Tim Reynolds.
Did you catch that, guys? Going back 30 freaking years is what they're going. And if you look on the map that they've got up right there, you can see, I don't know if you can see my little cursor, but this is Dallas Fort Worth. Down here, San Antonio. And then as you go further down, you can see way down here on the bottom, that's down in Border Town, Texas. Now, you know, we'll go along here. This is a little longer story, so, but I'm going to go on.
Tim Reynolds stepped into the trucking industry 35 years ago. Spending more than 2 decades on the road gave his passion a purpose.
Dad drove truck, grandparents drove truck, mom drives truck. Not only is it a family thing, it's a childhood dream.
Now a CDL training manager at Butler Tech, Reynolds is teaching the next generation how to safely steer a semi. While tough at times, it's a profession Reynolds describes as incredibly important.
If the trucking industry was to stop today, you would be completely out of everything in 3 days. Grocery stores would be empty shelves, gas stations without gas. So this is a constant moving, vital part of, this whole country.
Although the majority of the more than 3 million truckers in the U.S. are hardworking men and women dedicated to keeping the economy moving like Reynolds, the FBI believes there is a dark side to the business, thanks to a very small group of very bad people.
The number one profession for serial killers is long-haul trucker.
Federal investigators believe a handful of serial killers operating as long-haul truckers are likely responsible for 850 murders spread across multiple states and spanning decades. Former FBI Assistant Director Frank Figluzzi says the good news is many of those cases are now solved.
You got a lot of them solved, but hey, all those little dots on that map.
There are 25 long-haul truckers already in prison for multiple murders. There have been cases in the greater Cincinnati and the larger Ohio area.
John Fortenberry was working as a long-haul trucker when he murdered a Milford man in 1991. He was convicted and executed after investigators discovered he'd gone on a cross-country killing spree. But according to the FBI, there are still around 200 cases considered open and active.
Right now, we have multiple serial killers operating in the United States, without a doubt. The suspect pool for all of those within the trucking community is 450 suspects right now.
Determined
Did you catch that? 450 suspects right now that they're looking at. Now, we all know Bob likes to project shit, just like me moving 3 times in the past 4 months, when in reality, he's the one that has moved in the past few months. Claiming that everybody else is an alcoholic when he's the one that sits down there and gets drunk on a regular basis. Claiming that everybody else is gay. Claiming that they're serial killer this and I'm a serial killer that. But look what happens to pop up. Damn near every time something else comes up that points right back to him. And why would he be living way down there on the border? Maybe that's because, maybe part of it, is it possible? Sure, it's a possibility. Maybe if he gets a knock on his door, he figures that he can run across the border and be safe. Well, if you're charged with murder, Mexico extradites for that. They certainly do. We'll keep on with the story.
to help narrow that down, Figluzzi, now retired, started investigating on his own. He researched, pulled data from the FBI's Highway Serial Killings Initiative, and traveled across the U.S. with the long-haul trucker to experience the lifestyle.
I rode flatbed, which is a different kind of very active physical trucking, with a very gracious driver who tolerated me for over 2,000 miles.
His work led him to a key conclusion. These killers are cold, calculated, and clever.
An 18-wheeler is a mobile crime scene. What do I mean by that? These killers are grabbing their victims in one jurisdiction, killing or raping them in a second jurisdiction, and dumping the body in a third jurisdiction.
The victims targeted by the killers are typically vulnerable women struggling with addiction. Many were sex trafficked before their deaths, Figluzzi says, either recruited online or spotted at truck stops and forced to live a life they couldn't escape. It's those details that add a layer of complexity to these cases.
Most of these remains have no ID on them, whether that's the trafficking victim deliberately not carrying ID or whether that's the trucker taking the ID to make it much harder. Sometimes taking the ID as a souvenir.
Survivors of sexual slavery shared their stories with him to help him better understand what the women being preyed on are going through.
You know, I interviewed one woman who was a preacher's kid. I interviewed another woman who was a brilliant a bookkeeper who had a year of college. Commonalities. Very often it's early childhood trauma in the form of unwanted touching. Very often it's early introduction to drug use in the form of marijuana. And then rapidly the drugs get harder as a series of really bad trauma develops in their family environment.
To protect the ongoing investigations, Figluzzi can't reveal details about the list of current suspects or the patterns they've recently uncovered. He did tell us the FBI is using company logs, gas station receipts, and other records to build timelines. And when they can, they're using forensic genealogical DNA.
Only about a tiny fraction of truckers who kill. The rest are family people trying to feed their families by giving us our food on our table.
For dedicated, innocent drivers like Reynolds, the
rest of the story is about pretty much about this guy right here. So, but isn't it kind of odd that all of a sudden, out of the blue, this investigation pops up, and lo and behold, and it just who's got the conviction for holding a knife on a woman? Who is that? It's not me. It's not John down there in Florida. It's not Witz over in Ohio. It's Bob down in Texas. And see, I'm a firm believer in violence like that. When you have somebody that has done something like that, that's not the first time it's happened. No, that's not the first time that's happened. That's something that you build up to over time. That's not something that you just think out of the blue. Hey, I'm going to pull a knife on this woman because I haven't been laid in a while. No, that's something that you build up to. And that's not proving that you're a man or proving that you're fucking anything. What it proves is you're a piece of shit if you've got to hold a knife on a woman to have sex, which is exactly what happened. Were you convicted of that? No. No, he was not. He wasn't convicted of that. He was convicted of aggravated assault, not aggravated statutory rape or aggravated sexual assault or anything like that. He was convicted of just aggravated assault. That's what the conviction reads, because that's what he agreed to. But when you read the whole thing, read the whole freaking thing, it's right there. It's right freaking there. Exactly what happened. I mean, and you pled to it. You didn't plead to the actual act itself, no. But you made a deal because you were trying to stay out of prison. So it makes you wonder what happened in the past. What happened in the past that led up to that? Which brings you around to, why'd you leave Everett, Washington so fast? You never answered that question when I was on your stream once. You never answered that question. You got defensive real quick, real fast. Well, they sent me up there for a job, blah, 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 blah. That's not what I asked. I didn't ask why you got sent up there. I said, why'd you leave so fast? Never answered the question. Never answered the question. And you're never going to answer the question because you're chicken shit. You won't come up here because you're chicken shit. And you know I'll light your ass up because you're lying through your fucking teeth. I proved that 3 ways from Sunday every time you open your mouth about me. Every time. I don't live at that. I've never lived at that address that you claim that I'm at. Never, ever, ever. And the officer that I contacted about your sorry butt knows why. I told him why I've never lived there. He knows why I've never lived there. It's none of your fucking business. Just like my living arrangement. I'll show you my apartment. I haven't moved 3 times in the past 4 months like you claim. I'm too fucking old for that, you jackass. And you're getting there a lot fucking faster than I am. I can assure you that. And how many places have you been kicked out of in the past few months? We counted them off. Let alone the place you got booted out of just before you moved into the mansion. You gave the reason for that. Well, they're accusing me of stealing food. Well, no, it was more like, oh, hey, I'm stealing food and got caught. That's probably why. You were sharing a kitchen, you were stealing food and got caught. But yet on your live stream, it was, oh, they're accusing me of stealing food. We know the difference. We know the truth. You don't like to tell it because you think you're right all the fucking time, and you're not. You've never jumped out of an airplane. You never jumped out of a helicopter. Hell, I'd be surprised if you even drove a truck. But no, I find your stuff to be amusing, to say the least. And like I've told you before, man, You pissed me off. You royally pissed me off the other day when you did the whole frickin' Rhonda's not dead thing. That frickin' pissed me off. When you did that, yeah, that was really over the top, way too much. And you were lying through your teeth. And I proved that you were lying through your teeth. There we go. Visibility. I want no, I guess I didn't post that video about that, did I? No, I've got it. Where you lied your ass off about her not being dead. That was, and frankly, Bob, that was low even by your standards. That was low by your standard, and your standards ain't that high. No, it's unnecessary, uncalled for bullshit. And that's what pissed me off. And talk to your buddy up there in Tennessee and talk to him about what happens when you finally piss me off. You think I dug into your past before? Hadn't even begun. Because you didn't matter in the past. Didn't matter. But I can do some digging now. I never contacted any members of your family like you've done to me. Never done that. I never called Gene, your landlord, over the mansion, ever. I never contacted any of your supposed friends that were in maybe one of your videos. Never contacted any of those. Never tried to contact that woman that you raped. I will now. Let me see if I can do this because it's a really short video clip.
Rhonda Leah, Nick.
Okay, let me do. Let's see. Got to shrink that down a little bit so I can bring this back up. And then I go over here to the share. Yeah, it is crazy, Bruce. And here's what he said.
Rhonda Leah Knickerbocker never died. I know y'all falsely claim she died. That's actually illegal for you to do that. But Rhonda Leah Knickerbocker never died, did she? That's not even his real name, is it?
So, and then I went with. And this is how easy it is. And this is Frank and Bruce and John Doe. This is how easy it is to prove Bob out to be a fucking liar. Because of this right here. Oh. And gee, moron. Sure doesn't look like a man, does it? You jackass. And earlier in that same stream, he claimed that I killed her mom, but he said that I killed her in 2015. But right here, she died in January of 2022, which is about a year and a half before her daughter passed away. Yeah, because we took care of her for 10 years, I think. And there's Barbara. That's Rhonda right there. And that's Barbara, Rhonda's daughter, who's named after Barbara the grandma. And I think that's little Adam right there. I'm not sure which baby that is. Barbara had 3 kids. But yeah, so I mean, it's so that, that's how low Bob goes to lie about somebody else. That's how low he is. That's the kind of piece of shit that he is. Again, I don't need to fucking lie. So, well, I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm going to go fix me some dinner and finish watching this movie that I started a while ago. So anyway, hey, you guys have a good one. We'll catch y'all later.